everyone, I'm Rebecca from My Darling Cupcakes. As you can see, I've got Lola here helping me out, my favorite little helper. You see, I've been busy baking in the kitchen, and I made these cute little roses to go on top of it. Now, a lot of you guys have said you love how I decorate my cupcakes, but you don't think you could do it yourselves. Well, fondant can be tricky, it can be expensive, gum paste, same thing. But I actually figured out a way that you guys can make these roses all by yourselves using nothing more than taffy. This is just plain taffy that they sell in the store. There's various colors. I think there's blue, green, white. And you can see here I've made a rose. I've also made a bow and a ribbon. Now, when you make these, you're going to want to work pretty fast on it because the air is going to get to it and make them kind of sticky and tacky, hence the taffy. But I'm going to show you guys really quick how to make these and make your cupcakes look super professional, and nobody's going to know that you spent only a few minutes making them. So for this, very simple, very easy, you only need the taffy. And for one piece of taffy, it'll get you about 4 ribbons or 4 roses or 4 curly cues, whichever you choose. And you can see I've mixed and matched. You're going to want to take it and stretch it out a little bit. Now, along with your taffy, all you're going to need is a pair of scissors, a cutting board or some flat surface, doesn't have to be a cutting board, and a paper towel. I always love to have paper towels on hand, and seeing as this gets sticky, and you kind of want something to rub your hands off on. So I'm stretching this out a little bit, kind of giving me an even surface. You want it to be kind of even all the way out, stretching it. And that's the great thing about this taffy, is that it's very pliable, very forgiving. Unlike fondant, which can crack and it can be a pain at times. So this is really fun. And this is something too that you might want to get kids involved in because they can play with it and make their own creations. I'm just going to cut off my tip here. And this I'm actually going to use to make my bow, the center of my bow. So don't throw that away. Come in, cut this other tip off here. And then measure about halfway through, cut in. Then I'm going to take this piece again, and just come in and cut down the center of it. So these are going to be your 4 parts. Keep cutting. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can always stretch it out a little bit, so it's not a big deal. Cut this side too. That's the great thing about scissors, is that since it's metal, you can easily pry it off. Alright, and also you could use a pizza cutter on there, but I found that scissors are about the most effective. So I'm going to take one of my wider pieces here, stretch it out just a little bit, and this one's going to be your rose. And this is super, super, super simple. Just about anybody can do it, and it looks so professional that if somebody saw this on your cake or your cupcakes, they would just be taken back. Alright, so I'm going to start with the end, and I'm just going to fold it in just a little bit, kind of rolling it in, making almost like a triangle look. See there? Now I'm going to fold over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, pinch it in just a little bit, and push. So you see it's kind of making this riveted petal pattern. And I'm going to do that all the way around. See? Pinching in and pushing. Pinching in and pushing. One more time. Pinch in, push. And then we're going to finish this off here. So you see right here, my rosebud, and it took all of maybe 10 seconds to do. Now you've got a little bit of leftover on the back here, so all I'm going to do is come in, snip that off, and voila, rosebud in about 5 seconds. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make these bows. These are super cute as well, and they take just about 5 seconds as well. So this is so much fun. I was so excited when I figured this out, and I just had to share this with you guys. Alright, stretching it out just like we did with our rosebud. And then I'm going to come in. I want to make sure it's pretty even for this because you want your ribbon to look pretty symmetrical. So I'm going to come in, clip off the edges that look uneven. No big. Alright. I'm just going to take the 2 edges, come into my center, and push in. That's all you're doing. You're going to want to kind of come in a little bit and pinch these because you want it to stay up like a pretty little bow, and then down. So you see I've got my center here. I'm going to come back here, take that piece, the edge piece that we clipped off, stretch it out just a little bit. You want it to be kind of thin because you don't want it to be really bulky on top of your ribbon. I'm going to snip off my edges here. Snip off this. And I'm just going to come in and wrap it around. Just like that. Alright, pinch this up a little bit, and there you've got your beautiful little ribbon. Now I'm going to have a little piece for it to set on. This is going to kind of lay across the cupcake. This, again, super easy. Just clip off a piece. And the great thing about this taffy is that if it's not long enough when you clipped it, you can kind of stretch it out a little bit. It's very forgiving. So pretty much all you're going to do is just take your bow, squish it on top, and when you put it on your cupcake, you just push down, and there you go. You've got your ribbon. So those are your two separate pieces for your ribbon. Now for this curly Q, super easy, takes about 0.5 seconds to do. And to get this, what I did was I made the ribbon and then I put it into the fridge and let it harden up a little bit so it kept its form, because taffy kind of wants to move on you. So for this, I'm actually going to make two ribbons really quickly because this is a long enough piece that you can do two. So I'm going to take the edge here because it's not very even. Clip that off. Edge here, clip that off. Alright. So you see here I've got my long piece of taffy. Come in, fold it in the center because you want your ribbon to be just about even. Or curly Q, I should say. And all you're going to do, just like you do with streamers, is just come in and twist. That's all you're doing, is twisting. You see here? Pretty little curly Q in about 2 seconds. Alright, one more time, just in case you didn't get it. Come in, twist. And if you have a hard time with this, you can actually just use maybe a pencil. I would probably recommend maybe putting some parchment paper around it so you can just slip it off. I haven't really tried, but I can imagine that it'd probably do the trick in getting it, but you'd have to manipulate getting it off before it hardens, so you just got to be aware of that. So here, you've got your little curly Qs done in about 2 seconds. We made a ribbon here, we made our bow here, and we made our curly Qs. And this package of taffy actually only cost me about 80 cents, and they make, like you see, about 4 of each, so you can make a dozen for about $3, and that's definitely very economically friendly on your budget. Again, you can find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/mydarlingcupcakes. And if you have any questions or any tips you'd like to see me do in video, just send it on over to Facebook. Guys, have a great day.